Okay, so today we're going to explore the Wong Gerk. And as my usual format is, I'm not going to be the star of the video because I'm not one of those guys who likes to dance for likes. I prefer to show authentic learning experiences and how that actually unravels and how somebody actually goes through the learning process. So Gene has been kind enough to allow me to bring him on camera today. He's probably about 5 or 6 classes in, and we're going to actually break it down with Gene, give him a nice couple-minute private lesson essentially, document the learning process so that we can see how the learning actually occurs in real time. That way, somebody who's just learning this from the word go isn't left with a manual that starts when somebody has half the knowledge already in place. It's better to have somebody who has the emerging knowledge in place so that we can absolutely build upon that to help them continue moving in the direction. Before I bring them on though, something I want to address are the keys to a sidekick. In Wing Tsun we call it Wong Gerk, and I'm sure my pronunciation is off. Our keys. It is a side kick. It's not a mule kick. A lot of people, when they throw this kick, you'll see them do this. That is not our kick. One of the reasons we don't kick like that is because it changes our orientation. If I'm going to throw that side kick, I want to be able to turn and face my target. When I kick behind, my foot comes down, my body is oriented away, and now I have to overcome that inertia to turn to my target. I don't want to do that. That wastes my time. It's not efficient. Another thing we don't do when we do a side kick, we might do this in warm-up. That's a lot about moving the hips and engaging the right muscles. But we would never throw a side kick like this. That is not how we do a side kick. Okay? So there's no spinning, there's no turning. That side kick is an opportunist type movement. Key number 2. Post leg controls the distance. A lot of people struggle because they forget that this leg, if I'm kicking this way, is the one that controls how far or close I am to the target. I can go as far as bringing it to my other foot before I fire out that kick. That gives me maximal range. I can also stop underneath my body. Someone's closing the distance fast. I don't move my foot all the way over. I bring it underneath my body. From here, I throw that kick. There's also the possibility that movement might actually be putting my center of mass over top of my post leg, creating a little bit of space, throw the kick. Sometimes it can even be a step away from the target. That controlled the distance again, throw the kick. A lot of people get jammed up because they don't focus on the leg that's on the ground, controlling their range. Number 3, base toes are the base toes. So your post leg toes are pointed out. They are not parallel to the other foot coming out for that kick, right? Gene, please grab a bag. I'm gonna have you hold the bag for me here in a second. So please come stand on this side. So when I throw that kick, and I want you to lock into that and hold it strong. When I throw this kick, if I leave this foot straight forward, it becomes a tipping point. I kick and it pushes me back. So brace yourself. So I keep this here, I go like this, and it pushes me away from the target. I don't want to be pushed away from the target. So what I do instead is I turn this toe out. That gives me an area of support directly to my side. So when I turn here, throw that kick, the kick goes into the target. Okay? Point 4, you got to drive the post leg into the ground. A lot of people only focus on the leg that's doing the kicking, so they do this and they wonder why their kick lacks any amount of explosion. I drive this foot into the ground. When I drive it, it comes up and through, driving through the knee into the other leg. I'm using my body as a system to generate the power for the kick. Number 5, drive the kicking heel through, never to. A lot of people, when they kick, they do this, and it's just a surface kick. Okay? We don't want a surface kick. He's holding the shield. In my mind, I am not kicking a shield, I am kicking him. I want to teach myself to execute by driving through the target. So when I do this kick, I'm here, and I want to drive through that kick so that the energy is driven into his body. It's not about how far I can move him either. Number 6, upright body posture. If I kick and I lean myself away and he's a very solid object, I kick, I push myself away from it. The energy dumps out using my hip of my post leg as the tipping point. It becomes a fulcrum that I end up tipping over. So I don't want to lean away from my kick. Number 6, I must control my structure. I never want to throw that kick and let that foot fall. That is a lack of structural control. If your kick is ineffective or it misses the mark, when you throw it like that, you will be vulnerable to counterattack. So we got to keep that upright posture, that body in control. We got to drive through the post leg. We got to drive through the target. Okay? So, like I said, Gene here, I'll take that, has only been training for a short time. Okay? So we're going to use him today to help us explore how to set up this kick. So the first thing I want you to do, Gene, I want you to stand square just like this. Good. Now I want your feet about shoulder width apart. We're not going to worry about a strict Iji Kimyama or any particular stance. And I want you to bend the knees. Okay? They don't have to be deep bend, just a little bit. Normally in sports, we would call this an athletic stance, right? The only difference is we're keeping ourselves a little bit more upright. We don't have to have a tough locked-in hip at the start. That hip can lock in through the movement. Now, what Gene is going to do for the first part of learning this, I'm going to have him step and bring his right foot over, driving the heel toward so his right toes point out. Go ahead and do that. Good. Now from here, stay tall. And what I want you to do, I just want you to keep your hands up here in front of your body or back here. What I want you to do is now from here, you're going to pick up that leg and throw out a side kick. Ready? Go. Good. Now, let's take a look at that. What we saw was the body lean away. So we're going to test that, and I want you to do it exactly like that, Gene. So, am I in a good range for you? Go ahead and do an easy one right now just to feel the range. Is that a good range for you? Okay. So go ahead and adjust. Notice what happens when his body's leaning away. Go ahead, do it again. I'm going to drive up. See his recovery is constantly that little stumble step backwards or a tip backwards. Okay, that is a moment of structural vulnerability. We want to erase that. Okay? So I want you to focus on keeping those clavicles nice and high. And when you kick, I want you to look toward the target. So you're not guessing. Ready? Go ahead. Okay. That time I felt a little bit more power come through the bag. He's still having to stabilize against it, so he hasn't quite found that yet, and that's okay. Go ahead, do it again. Okay. Let's try to keep that body upright. Drive through the heel. Okay. Getting a little closer. Notice he's not starting to bounce off of me so much. Okay. So now what I'm going to have him do is I'm going to move a little bit closer to him so he can't quite bring that heel over. And I want him to use that side leg, the furthest away from me, to judge the distance for the kick. So go ahead and set that up. Okay. Now you see there, he turned to his side a little bit and gave me a bit more of a mule kick, which most likely was a function of him missing his distance on that. That's okay. This is all new. This is part of the learning experience. All right, go ahead and do it again. See, that time he changed something. He actually retracted his front foot. That tells me I'm a little bit too close to him. So I'm going to give him a little bit more space. Okay, go ahead. Good. Try to keep that tall. Okay, ready? Good. Do it again. Good. Now I'm going to come a little bit closer. Oftentimes, if something was this close to us, we wouldn't use this kick. But now what I want him to do is I want him to move that foot away to gain his distance. Good. Now I want you to do it without that lean. So I'm going to get a little close. Okay, actually come to me a little bit so we don't start walking out of frame. Come to me a little bit. Good. How'd that feel? Sturdier. Okay, do it again. Okay. What happened there? Where?
To the right.
And? Forward a little bit.
Okay.
And so when he hit, I felt that structure break down on that shield. Immediately when he hit it, I felt that he lost a lot of his power that he had available to him. Let's try that again. Good. Let's try it again. Okay. How'd that feel?
I stumbled back a little bit.
Okay. Why?
I don't know if I had the right distance.
Okay. I felt the distance was okay. I'm going to suggest that it was the orientation of your right foot. I really can't see it through the bag. I'm mostly guessing. So turn that toe out a little bit more, not like this, about at a 30-degree angle. Okay, that, ready? Go. Okay, how'd that feel? Okay, I'm gonna come a little bit closer, ready? Go. Good, now I wanna be close enough that you have to step away, so come toward me. Okay, now step away. Good, try to keep that tall. Do it again. Okay, set up close to me. Take that one step away, throw the kick. Good. How'd that feel?
Better.
Good. So as time's going by, he's getting a little bit more stable with it. He's still trying to find it. You can see the nervous system's bouncing a little bit. He's trying to find that groove, right? One of the things about that bouncy nervous system, you know, Bruce Lee always put it on as a big show. A lot of people copy it. That's really good entertainment, but that's dancing for the camera. He's not dancing for the camera. I want to make that distinction. What he is doing is he's trying to find a good position inside of his nervous system to be able to drive that kick. Now here's the next thing. He may feel that he needs more bend in his leg to generate a good kick. So how he's going to accomplish that is on that first move, he can drop his center of gravity. Now I have more leash in both legs. This prevents me from having to bring this up and chamber the kick before I throw it. A lot of people, when they do a side kick, they don't put any bend in the leg, so they bring this up and they throw it out. What I really want to see is that if I need that power or I need that range, I'm going to drop here. Then when I come out, I have that bend in the leg in both legs, so I can drive both, one up, one through the target. All right, so we're going to try to get that going. All right, ready? So ready, drop. So step and drop a little bit. Did you step?
No.
Okay. So we're not doing the close one now. We're moving back to the other one. So step and drop a little bit. Just a little. Now, look at your target, throw your side kick. Okay? Good. You see how his body raised up through it? Now I want you to try to put it together a little bit faster.
Okay.
See if you can coordinate that action together.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be a bad knee shot. No, that's good. That's good. Go ahead. Okay? A little bit of instability there on the post. Ready, go. Okay? So we're working. This is a process, right? Everything Gene's doing right now is honest. It's part of that learning process, right? This tells us exactly where he's at in his level. He can understand the basic mechanics. He can understand how to deal with them. And now he has the keys that he can adjust them with. So he has something he can refer back to help him work through this. And he felt it in his body sometimes. You could see he was starting to be able to identify when it was correct versus when it was incorrect. And that's huge. That ability to self-observe is incredibly important when we're training this kick or any other part of the system. So I'm just going to recap with some of our key points. First, it's a side kick, not a mule kick, not a back kick or a reverse kick. It is the post. Number 2, post leg controls the distance. Number 3, base foot, toes point out, not directly out, at about 30 degrees. 4, post leg drives into the ground. 5, we drive the kicking heel through the target, always through, never to. And I know I always say you guys aren't allowed to direct quote me, but you are absolutely allowed to lift that one because it's a very simple way to put it. Number 6, upright body posture, keep the clavicles high. Number 7, you must control your structure. And number 8, which I didn't put on the board because I didn't think we'd get to it, is that you can build that chamber into your kick by dropping your carriage, lowering your center of gravity before you fire that kick. So, Gene, thank you so much for participating. I do appreciate your help. And aside from that, guys, thanks for being here today. We'll catch up with you next time.